The day dawned with the usual ease, a gentle start to what I expected to be another routine Wednesday. As the CEO of a thriving tech startup, my days were often consumed by meetings and decision-making, leaving little room for the unexpected. The drive home was uneventful, the streets bathed in the golden hue of the setting sun, a stark contrast to the storm brewing unbeknownst to me. Upon reaching our upscale suburban home, I found my wife, Eliza's, car already parked in the driveway. It was unusual for her to be home this early, as her job as a marketing executive often demanded late hours. Anticipation mixed with curiosity guided my steps to the front door, unlocked and slightly ajar, a deviation from our habitual security-mindedness. Inside, the house was suspiciously quiet. The faint sound of laughter drew me towards the kitchen, a place that normally buzzed with the activity of our beloved maid, Marianne. Marianne was more than just hired help. Over the 5 years she'd been with us, she'd become like family. Recently, she'd joyfully announced her pregnancy, and we had celebrated the news with genuine delight. Yet, nothing could have prepared me for the scene unfolding before my eyes as I neared the kitchen. The sight that greeted me was both shocking and bizarre. Marianne, scantily clad, was not alone. She was with a man, both caught in a moment of frivolity, half hidden by the kitchen island. Before I could process the scene or announce my presence, Eliza burst into the kitchen like a tempest. Her reaction was visceral and violent. She screamed, a piercing sound filled with betrayal and fury. In a flash, she grabbed Marianne by the hair, pulling her away from the man, who turned out to be none other than Derek, Eliza's co-worker whom she often mentioned in passing. Eliza's next move was to slap Derek hard across the face, the sound echoing off the walls. The room spun as the realization hit me: Derek wasn't just her co-worker, but her lover. This man, who was now revealed to be the father of Marianne's child, was also the same man Eliza had shared secrets with, away from our marriage. "Eliza! What is this?" My voice broke through the chaos, heavy with disbelief and heartbreak. Eliza, her eyes wild with a cocktail of emotions, turned to me. Her usual composed demeanor shattered in front of the very foundation of our life together. I can explain," she stammered, her voice a mix of anger and desperation. But there was nothing she could say that would unsee what I had witnessed. The betrayal was too deep, the wound too fresh. The rest of the evening was a blur of accusations, denials, and painful revelations. The depth of Eliza's deceit, entangled with the life we had built together, came crashing down around me. Marianne, tearful and remorseful, left our home that night, her future uncertain. In the days that followed, my resolve hardened. I couldn't let this betrayal define me, nor could I let it go unpunished. My love for Eliza, once unwavering, had turned into a catalyst for retribution. I contacted the best divorce lawyer in town and set about disentangling my life from the woman who had shared my bed, my home, my everything. As the legal proceedings took their course, I ensured that every facade of Eliza's life crumbled. I exposed her affair to her workplace, leading to her suspension and eventual firing. The social circles we once graced together soon knew the truth, isolating her, leaving her to fend for herself in a world that no longer welcomed her with open arms. Days morph into weeks, and the aftershocks of Eliza's betrayal linger like a bitter aftertaste. Despite the divorce papers being a grim testament to my newfound singularity, life insists on moving forward, and so must I. However, the need for a deeper vengeance gnaws at me, an unrelenting whisper in the back of my mind. On a crisp Saturday morning, under the guise of normalcy, I ventured to the local cafe where Eliza and I once shared quieter moments. It's strategic, I know she frequents this spot on weekends, a habit from our days together that she clings to in the wake of our separation. I sit at our usual table, the one by the window with a view of the bustling street, and wait. Eliza enters shortly after, her posture slightly deflated, a visible change from her usually impeccable demeanor. She pauses at the sight of me, a flicker of hesitation crossing her features before she approaches. "May I join you?" Her voice is tentative, almost frail. I nod, gesturing to the chair across from me. "Please, sit." As she settles, I observe the subtle signs of strain around her eyes, the way her fingers tremble slightly as she reaches for the menu. It's clear the isolation and her fall from grace have taken their toll. You look like you've seen better days, Eliza. My tone is casual, but the underlying sharpness is unmistakable. She sighs, placing the menu down, her gaze meeting mine. I suppose I deserve that. How are you, considering everything? Thriving, actually, I reply coolly. It's amazing what removing toxicity from your life can do for your well-being. Her eyes flinch at that, hurt flickering briefly before she masks it with resignation. I came here to apologize, again. Not that it will change anything, but I truly am sorry for everything. I lean back, crossing my arms. Your apologies don't change the past, Eliza. They don't erase the lies or the deceit. Tell me, was it worth it? Derek and all of this mess? Eliza's face crumples slightly. It was a mistake. I never meant to hurt you. Yet, you did, I interject sharply. And now, you're living with the consequences. Speaking of which, how's the job hunt going? The question hits a nerve. She looks away, her voice a whisper. Not well. Turns out having your personal affairs become office gossip isn't conducive to professional opportunities. That's unfortunate. My words drip with insincerity. Seems like your actions have a wider ripple effect than you anticipated. We sit in a tense silence, the air thick with unsaid words. Finally, I stand, throwing a few bills on the table for my untouched coffee. Goodbye, Eliza. I hope, in your solitude, you find some semblance of the peace you stole from us. As I walk away, the weight of her stare on my back is palpable. Outside, the air feels cleaner, lighter. This encounter, while painful, reaffirms my decision. It's the closure I needed, not from forgiveness but from the confirmation that moving on is the only path left. The real retribution lies not in her suffering, but in my recovery and the reconstruction of a life unperturbed by her shadows. Yet, as I stride down the street, a part of me knows this isn't the end. There are more layers to this betrayal, and I am yet to uncover them all. The plot of my life continues to thicken, promising more revelations and perhaps, even confrontations that are yet to come. The scent of autumn fills the air as I navigate through the city's crowded streets, each step fueled by a resolve hardened by recent events. The brief encounter with Eliza has left a bitter residue, prompting a deeper dive into the remnants of our shared past. My quest for closure isn't satiated, instead, a hunger for the full truth gnaws at me, urging me to unearth every hidden lie. It's on a brisk Thursday evening that I find myself standing outside Derek's upscale apartment, the man whose involvement with both my wife and our maid had sparked the cascade of my current reality. After some digging and a few calls with reluctant former colleagues, I've pieced together enough of Derek's routine to confront him directly. I press the buzzer, my heart hammering against my ribs. The door clicks open, and Derek appears, his expression morphing from surprise to guarded as he recognizes me. Can we talk? I ask, my tone leaving little room for refusal. Derek hesitates, a frown creasing his forehead. I suppose you better come in, he mutters, stepping aside to allow me entry. His apartment is sleek, a stark contrast to the chaos he's sown. I follow him into a minimalist living room, where he turns to face me, arms folded. What do you want? Derek's voice is defensive, a hint of unease flickering in his eyes. I want to know everything, I state plainly. About you, Eliza, and Marianne. I want to know why. Derek sighs, running a hand through his hair. It wasn't planned, any of it. Eliza and it started as just late nights at the office. One thing led to another. I never meant to get involved with Marianne. That was a mistake. A mistake that ruined lives, I shoot back, my anger simmering. Did you ever think about the consequences? About me? Derek looks away, his jaw tightening. I didn't. I was selfish. I'm not asking for your forgiveness, but I am sorry for the pain I caused. Sorry doesn't change the fact that my marriage ended because of your mistakes, I retort, the bitterness in my voice palpable. You disrupted everything I believed in. We stare at each other, the tension palpable. Finally, Derek exhales sharply. I can't undo what I've done, but I can offer you this, he says, moving to his desk. He pulls out a folder, pushing it across to me. This is everything: emails, messages between me and Eliza. If you're looking for closure, maybe this will help. I pick up the folder, my hands trembling slightly. Why give this to me? Because I'm done hiding, Derek admits. I've lost too much, just like you. It's time to start over, and you deserve the whole truth. Taking the folder, I nod slowly. Thank you, I manage to say, though the gratitude is hollow. Leaving Derek's apartment, the folder feels like a lead weight in my grasp. Back in the solitude of my own home, I pore over the contents, each message and email a piercing stab of betrayal. Yet, with each word, a piece of the puzzle falls into place, and the fog of deception begins to clear. Armed with the truth, my path forward crystallizes. The betrayal has not only dismantled my past, but has reshaped my future. Retribution feels closer now, not through vengeance, but through liberation from the web of lies. As I close the folder, a sense of determination settles over me. The next steps are clear, and I am ready to confront what comes next, armed with the full truth and nothing left to hide. The intrigue deepens, setting the stage for new alliances and further revelations in the chapters to come. The final pieces of the puzzle lay bare before me, each one a testament to the betrayals that have upended my life. Armed with Derek's confessions and the evidence of Eliza's duplicity, I craft a plan not just for mere revenge, but for a reckoning that will ensure neither of them forgets the depth of my pain and the cost of their deceit. I wait for the perfect moment, a charity gala where both Eliza and Derek are bound to appear, looking to salvage their tattered reputations. The venue, an opulent hall decked with chandeliers and silk drapes, buzzes with the city's elite, unaware of the drama about to unfold. As I enter, clad in a sharp tuxedo, a murmur of recognition ripples through the crowd. My recent notoriety as the wronged husband has not gone unnoticed. Scanning the room, I spot Eliza, radiant in a crimson gown, laughing at something Derek whispers in her ear. The sight fuels my resolve. I make my way toward them, each step measured, my anger a mask of geniality. Eliza, Derek, what a surprise to see you both here, I say, my voice dripping with feigned warmth. Eliza's smile falters as she turns, her eyes widening slightly. What are you doing here? I thought it's time everyone knows the truth about us, I say loudly, drawing the attention of nearby guests. The truth about what kind of people you really are. Derek steps forward, his expression darkening. I think you should leave. Ignoring him, I pull out my phone and connect it to the gala's audio system, a pre-arranged agreement with a tech-savvy friend. Listen closely, everyone, I announce, hitting play. The room falls silent as the recordings of Eliza's and Derek's intimate conversations fill the air, their deceit laid bare in their own words. Gasps and murmurs ripple through the crowd as the gravity of their betrayal becomes undeniable. Eliza reaches for me, pleading, please, stop this. I brush her hand away, cold and unyielding. You didn't stop when you tore our lives apart. Why should I? As the recordings end, I address the stunned onlookers. This is the woman and the man who destroyed not just a marriage, but a family. Is this the type of people you want to associate with? Humiliated, Eliza and Derek are met with scornful looks and whispers. Their social demise is palpable, the repercussions of their actions finally catching up to them. Security approaches to escort them out, their exits met with averted gazes and shaking heads. Eliza tries to salvage her dignity, but the damage is done. Derek, defeated, doesn't meet my gaze as they disappear into the night. Later, as the gala resumes its festivities, a sense of profound relief washes over me. I've exposed them for who they are, stripping them of their ability to deceive others as they deceive them for who they are. As I stand alone, a figure approaches, Marianne. She's come to find closure as well. I heard what happened. I'm so sorry for everything, she says, her voice sincere. I know, I reply, the weight of the past months evident in my tone. It's over now. It's time for us all to move forward. With a nod, Marianne leaves, and I am left to contemplate the ruins of relationships once cherished. The night air is chilly as I step outside, the echoes of the evening's revelations lingering in my mind. The path ahead is unclear, but one thing is certain: the chains of betrayal have been broken, and the freedom to rebuild rests solely in my hands. As I walk away from the gala, the city lights blur into a tapestry of new beginnings. The chapter of Eliza and Derek has closed, a brutal yet necessary end to a saga of deception and pain. Now, the story of my own redemption begins, marked not by vengeance but by the resilience to overcome the darkest of betrayals.